Hello friends, today I am explain horror movie name, Siccin Part 5. I hope you like it. Let's go now. Without further delay. At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to some real facts. We are shown a place called Karen Village, which was located near the Navy area. This village was also known as Cancer Village, because cancer had spread widely among the people living there. It was believed that the disease originated from the city itself, forcing many residents to abandon the village. Another interesting fact mentioned is that the film Siccin 5 was shot in this same Cancer Village. The story then begins with a girl named Hale. She is chasing a man who enters a mansion-like house, and that man is revealed to be her father. Inside the house, four mysterious people are watching her. Their true identity is not revealed at this point. After entering the house, Hale is handed a glass. A strange voice tells her that she is not the one they want, and if she truly wishes to meet her father, she must tear off her face. Under some supernatural influence, she picks up a sharp piece of glass and rips her face apart. The scene is extremely disturbing. Soon after, several people dressed in black surround her and force her to look at her torn face through mirrors. Suddenly, Hale wakes up from what seems like a nightmare, but something unusual is coming out of her mouth, hinting that it may not have been just a dream. The story then shifts to Esra, who is Hale's aunt and the sister of Hale's father. Through conversations, we learn about family tensions and emotional struggles after the death of Hale's mother. Strange incidents continue to happen around them, creating an unsettling atmosphere. Meanwhile, Hale appears emotionally unstable and deeply obsessed with meeting her dead father again. She begins talking to her doll and believes that if she cuts off the doll's fingers, she will be able to see him. Shockingly, when she cuts the doll's finger, real blood starts coming out as if it were a living person. Hale becomes frightened and demands answers, but the mysterious voice only tells her that her father will return soon. Later, we see Hale's grandmother, Nesmi, and her mother, Belota, who are both extremely worried about Hale's strange behavior. Esra, who owns a clothing shop, is shown looking sadly at a photograph of her late brother Salim. Suddenly, she notices strange insects crawling nearby, and terrifying hallucinations begin appearing before her eyes. The back door of the shop suddenly opens by itself, and Esra is dragged into a horrifying supernatural vision. She sees Hale in a demonic form holding her by the hair while four dark figures dressed in black stand nearby. Hale's dead father also appears in the scene, seemingly involved in some kind of ritual inside a temple-like place. Moments later, Esra snaps back to reality inside her shop. An elderly woman named Fatma arrives and begins reciting prayers to protect her from evil spirits. On the other side, Salim is shown staring at his mother's photograph when he suddenly notices insects crawling all over it. However, when he looks again, everything has mysteriously disappeared. Hallie begins to suspect that the strange events around her may be connected to her family's dark past. From the conversations between her grandmother and mother, she learns that her father, Zahir, left the house many years ago after a terrible incident. The truth behind that incident is still unknown, but it clearly destroyed the family. We are also told that Hallie was never very close to her mother or grandmother. Instead, she trusted and spoke more openly with her husband. Meanwhile, Salim's sister, Abro, is at home taking some belongings out from under the bed. Suddenly, the bed seems to collapse onto her, causing her to scream in fear. Her daughter, who had been standing behind her, appears shocked as well. At first, Abro believes it was only an illusion, but later strange marks appear on her daughter's back, marks that look exactly as though the bed had truly fallen on her. During the night, Hallie has a disturbing dream in which she sees her mother and her brother, who had died long ago. Her mother introduces the boy as her brother, saying he was born disabled and had never been able to walk. Both of them warn Hallie not to get married, otherwise her fate will become just like her brother Zahir's. Hallie suddenly wakes up from the nightmare, only to discover that the same piece of cloth she saw in the dream is lying right in front of her in reality. At the same time, Hallie's grandmother goes down into the basement carrying a knife. There, she sees visions connected to Hallie's father and begins blaming him for everything that has happened. In anger, she almost tries to stab him. However, she suddenly notices the presence of a witch-like figure calling her deeper into the darkness. As she follows the voice near the bushes, she catches a glimpse of the terrifying creature. When she turns around, Salem is standing there. Hallie later dreams of a demonic farm where her mother is desperately banging on a door. She wakes up terrified, only to hear someone actually knocking. When she opens the door, her grandmother is standing there holding a knife. Hallie realizes that her grandmother has once again been wandering around in a strange trance-like state. Meanwhile, Sister Fatima performs a ritual on Isra to determine whether an evil spirit is attached to her. In the ritual, several shell stones are placed on Isra's head. If any of the stones crack, it means a dark shadow is haunting the person. One of the stones immediately breaks, confirming their fears. Later, Hallie's grandmother melts a bottle in boiling oil while muttering that the only way to end everything is to kill Hallie. At the same time, Hallie's doll begins speaking to her, warning that her grandmother wants to murder her. The doll tells her to burn it if she wants proof. As Hallie burns the doll, her grandmother suddenly appears from behind and throws hot oil at her. But instead of harming Hallie, a demonic form appears in her place. The creature grabs the grandmother and declares that no one can stop it now like they once did before. However, Hallie herself cannot actually see the demon. After the terrifying encounter, Hallie carries her weak grandmother back to her room. Later, Salem confesses his love to Hallie and proposes to her. Because she truly loves him, she happily accepts. But soon after, she reveals the painful truth about her past. According to her mother, her missing brother had killed their father and disappeared from home that very day. Since their father's death, her mother's mental condition has continued to worsen. The situation becomes much worse for the brother's family. His wife's condition keeps deteriorating, and fear spreads throughout the house. One night, while the sailor's sister is sleeping beside her daughter, she suddenly realizes her daughter is missing. Then she hears strange sounds coming from another room. When she opens the door, she witnesses something so horrifying that she can barely believe her eyes. The woman transforms into a terrifying witch-like figure and threatens her, saying that if the sailor ever gets married again, she will do the same thing to her daughter. Hearing this leaves everyone terrified, and after that incident, the family becomes distant and silent. Meanwhile, strange things continue happening inside the house. One night, the cruel man suddenly wakes up and goes straight to his jewelry shop. He fills a bag with all the gold and carries it deep into the forest, where he throws it into a river. Suddenly, he wakes up from what seemed like a dream, but when he looks around, the same empty bag is lying beside him. Even his shoes are tied up exactly as they were before. Later, when he enters another room, he sees his mother and Selen's mother sitting together, performing black magic rituals. Before he can fully understand what is happening, everything suddenly disappears in an instant. The next morning, Selen checks the CCTV footage from the jewelry shop and is shocked to discover that it was not a dream at all. The footage clearly shows her taking all the gold from the shop herself, even though she remembers nothing about it. At this point, Hak's friend advises him to seek help from a spiritual Baba. Around the same time, Hala is looking through old family photographs when she again senses a strange presence, as if someone is speaking to her. The voice keeps insulting and threatening her, but now she refuses to listen. When they finally meet the Baba, he examines the mysterious bag and attempts to communicate with the evil force. He later tells them that the spirit refused to reveal much, but it did mention one name, Esra. He asks them to bring her the next day. That same night, Selen hears disturbing noises coming from the bathroom. When she goes to check, she sees her stolen gold floating inside the water. As she tries to pull it out, an unseen force suddenly grabs her hand and drags it inward. Terrified, she screams. Soon after, her mother and brother arrive there and remind her that they had warned her never to stay involved with these dark forces. But the horrors only continue to grow stronger. Later that night, strange sounds echo through the house again. When she enters another room, she sees her grandmother, mother, and father all sitting silently together in a horrifying state. Suddenly, four evil spirits surround them from every side. At the same moment, the cursed purse reappears in the exact same mansion where everything had originally begun. The demons then begin whispering for her to kill him. In another disturbing vision, her father keeps staring at her again and again. The fear and tension in these scenes become unbearable. Finally, she is led to a terrifying place where her aunt is tied to a chair with a white cloth covering her face. As she listens carefully, shocking truths about the past begin to unfold through a series of disturbing flashbacks, revealing that all of these horrifying events were connected from the very beginning. The next day, after Isra woke up frightened from the rain, Hala drew a strange symbol connected to the mysterious magic temple. It seemed as if she too had become trapped in its dark influence. She showed the symbol to herself and her mother, and soon they realized that they would have to complete the ritual connected to the temple in order to save Hala. As the story continued, a terrifying ghostly figure appeared in the shop, so horrifying that it was almost impossible to describe. Later that night, Hala was seen praying, while the tension inside the family kept growing. At the same time, the seller's sister became worried because he was not answering her calls. When she went to check on him, she found him lying helpless, his hand completely numb. Frightened, she rushed back home, only to face even more terrifying events. Soon, Isra was injected with something that left her unable to move. One by one, the entire family became trapped under the curse. It was then revealed that Isra's boss knew the secrets of the magic temple. He was a greedy man who had destroyed countless lives through dark rituals. However, he deeply loved his family, especially his sick son. The village itself had become known as the Cancer Village because disease had spread there for many years. Desperate to save his son, Isra's father turned to the power of the magic temple. To cure the boy, he was willing to sacrifice his own daughter. Isra was made unconscious, tied to a chair, and covered with a white cloth while the ritual began. The family was preparing to hand her over to the demons. At this point, a shocking truth was revealed. Isra's mother confessed that she had killed her husband with a knife because she discovered his horrifying plans. She had lied to her daughter all this time, but only because she wanted to protect her children from being sacrificed. She believed that once her husband died, the curse would end. Unfortunately, he had already made a deal with the demons, promising Isra's life in exchange for his son's recovery. The demons demanded that the promise be fulfilled. Hala was told that everything would return to normal only if Isra was killed. The family once again prepared for the dark ritual. But fear and guilt consumed them all. In the chaos, terrifying supernatural forces were unleashed. A demonic presence appeared, killing nearly everyone, including Hala's mother and grandmother. Even Isra's father disappeared, and his body was never found. Isra was the only survivor. In the final scenes, it was revealed that the prayer Hala made earlier was actually for Isra's safety. Her sincere prayer was answered, which is why Isra survived the nightmare. The movie ends by showing that 6 months later, Isra moved on with her life, got married, and finally found peace and happiness.